Imagine losing something priceless, something so valuable you'd do anything to find it. But as you search, you begin to wonder, did someone you trust take it? This is the story of a lost jewel, a hasty accusation, and a lesson that could change how you view trust and judgment forever. Once upon a time, in a magnificent kingdom, lived a young princess who cherished one special possession, a radiant jewel, the crown jewel of her collection. This jewel was a gift from her mother, her most treasured keepsake, a symbol of love and legacy. Every day, she wore it with pride, but one morning, disaster struck. She opened her jewelry box and gasped. The jewel was gone. Frantically, she searched her chambers, under the bed, behind the curtains, every nook and cranny, but the jewel was nowhere to be found. How could something so precious just vanish? Consumed by worry, she began to suspect the unthinkable. Desperation clouded her thoughts. Only one person had been near the jewel that morning, Mira, her loyal servant, who had worked for her since childhood. In a moment of weakness, the princess's mind spiraled toward suspicion. Could it be that Mira had taken the jewel? The idea unsettled her, yet her frustration grew as hours passed with no trace of her prized possession. She called Mira, her voice tense, watching her closely, looking for any sign of guilt. The princess couldn't see it, but her heart had already hardened toward someone who had shown her only loyalty. In moments of loss, suspicion finds a way to take hold, casting shadows where there may be none. As her frustration peaked, the princess turned to Mira with an intense gaze. "Mira," she demanded, "you were here this morning. Where's my jewel?" Mira's face fell, her expression a mixture of shock and hurt. "Your Highness," she replied, voice trembling. "I would never," but before she could finish, the princess cut her off, dismissing her words. Mira's eyes held only hurt and innocence, but the princess, blinded by frustration, didn't notice. The feeling of betrayal makes us quick to judge, and in her heart, the princess had already passed her verdict. Thus began a story where pride overshadowed fairness, leading to consequences far greater than anyone expected. It wasn't long before word spread through the palace. Servants whispered in the hallways, guards exchanged uneasy glances, and the air grew thick with suspicion. Mira, once respected, now faced isolation, her innocence questioned by everyone. Friends distanced themselves, afraid of being linked to her. The princess felt justified, believing that Mira's skill was obvious. To her, the mystery was solved. But the reality was far from over. Suspicions, when spread without proof, become as destructive as truth. The princess's need for certainty had set in motion a chain of doubt. The palace had become a place of whispers and mistrust. Determined to confirm her belief, the princess ordered a thorough search of Mira's belongings. Servants turned her room upside down, going through her clothes, her personal items, her few cherished possessions, yet nothing was found. No jewel, no hidden stash, no clue pointing to guilt. But the princess's suspicion remained. She convinced herself Mira must have hidden it too well, ignoring the lack of any real proof. She was so focused on feeling right, she disregarded reason when emotions cloud judgment. Even lack of evidence can seem like a minor detail. But this need to be right was about to cost the princess dearly. Despite the accusations, Mira continued her duties with grace. She held her head high, serving the princess and palace with quiet dignity. Though deeply hurt, she hoped the truth would come to light. Other servants began noticing her humility, her continued loyalty. In the face of mistrust, watching Mira's quiet strength, they began to doubt the princess's claim. Could someone so faithful really be a thief? Mira's response was a silent yet powerful reminder. Innocence doesn't need to prove itself in times of unjust accusation. True strength lies in maintaining integrity. Mira's patience spoke louder than words. One day, as the princess sat in her chambers, a strange thing happened. A large bird flew through the open window, a majestic hawk that seemed oddly at ease in the room. It swooped down to the vanity, pecking at something glimmering in the corner, startled. The princess walked over, her heart skipped a beat. There, hidden in a small crack near the window, was her missing jewel. Somehow, it had slipped into the crevice, invisible to all in an instant. She knew she had been wrong all along. Sometimes, fate reveals the truth, but often comes at a cost we don't anticipate. The princess stood frozen, guilt flooding her heart. She had wrongfully accused Mira, her most loyal servant, and her pride had blinded her from the start. She remembered Mira's hurt face, her unwavering loyalty, and her own hasty judgment. The princess felt the sting of regret. Realizing that her need to blame someone had overshadowed her fairness, she knew now that mere words wouldn't make up for what Mira had endured, and an apology was long overdue. Realizing one's mistakes is hard, but taking responsibility is even harder, and the princess was about to take a step she'd never taken before. With a heavy heart, the princess approached Mira. Looking her in the eyes, "Mira," she began softly, "I was wrong. I should never have doubted you. Please forgive me." Mira, though wounded, looked back with kindness. "Your Highness," she said gently, "trust once broken takes time to rebuild." But humility heals. Moved by her forgiveness, the princess promised to be more thoughtful, vowing never to let pride cloud her trust again. Sometimes, forgiveness from those we wrong teaches us the most profound lessons. Mira's strength taught the princess more than she could have imagined. This story of the missing jewel reminds us of a simple truth. Quick judgments often lead to unjust consequences. In our rush to find answers, we sometimes create harm we can't take back. True wisdom lies in patience, in looking beyond appearances, and in holding on to trust when doubt creeps in. Next time you find yourself on the verge of judgment, remember the princess and her jewel. Look deeper and remember, the truth often lies in places we least expect. Thank you for joining this story. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire and enlighten. Until next time.